All right. So the notes on 18.2 are titled Solutions to the Solid Waste Problem. So the the two main solutions to our solid waste problem are the ones that are right here: source reduction and recycling and reusing. Okay. So source reduction, as it says here, is the practice of designing, manufacturing, purchasing, or using materials in ways that reduce the amount or toxicity of the trash created. So it's reducing it at the source reduction, reducing it, not basically, it's not producing as much trash or as much things that turn into eventually end up being trash. So using using like regular plates and silverware instead of disposable plates and silverware and stuff like that. Um, now, um, there's there's an interesting kind of dichotomy here. So I've noticed in the past, and it's like I usually bring this up in this section because it's things that have sort of triggered me in terms of like that just seems so ridiculous or whatever. Um, I let me hold on, let me grab something here. Okay, so several years ago, I I purchased um, I purchased this thing for physical science. It's a little boat that works on thermal expansion, stuff like that, and whatever. And it runs with um, these little tiny candles. Okay. And when I purchased it, I also purchased some refills, which I haven't even used. But I purchased some refills, but they were on back order. So one day I get this package here at school, and it's probably about the size of it's about the size of a shoebox. Okay, yeah, you can see where this is going, right? It's about the size of a shoebox or a little bigger, and I'm like racking my brain, going like, what the heck did I order? Like I can't think of anything, right? So open it up. There's like yards and yards of this wrapping packaging stuff. Open up. Yeah, you guessed it. This is what was in the this is what was in the bag or the box, I mean. Like it's just this size. Like this was in a was shipped in a box the size of a shoebox or a little larger. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. Like you could have literally mailed this in like a small padded envelope or something. Like it's not that fragile. It's not what and they sent it in this giant box. And I'm like, that's so, like it just struck me. I'm like, that's such a waste of packaging and like so unnecessary, you know. So, oh man, I got something the other day too. We got something at our house that was from Amazon, and like it was weird. It was like the same type of thing. It was in this huge box, and I'm like, what in the name? Like, what could that be? And I open it up, and it's like this whatever it was not nearly the size of. I'm like, that was super unnecessary, you know. Um, so here's another. Uh, okay, I probably should have pulled this up beforehand, but so I'm trying to remember what I searched for this. Oops, what did I just do? Um, yes, here it is. So one time I was at the grocery store. Now these they had pears sitting out in these little adorable and oh so environmentally friendly foam little blankies around each individual pear. Like each individual pear is wrapped in, and you can see they did. Apparently, they do it with other fruits too, certain ones. Yeah.
Have you ever had an apple pear?
I mean, like a apple, like a hybrid version.
Yes.
No,
It tastes like a pear, but it's in the shape of an apple.
that's crazy. That's kind of cool. Like a grapple. Um, so I just look at this and I'm like, it's even more egregious for an apple. I mean, like you're kidding me, right? Like it's to keep them from getting bruised and stuff like that, you know, during shipping. But the thing is that they already send them in these in these dividers anyway. Like they already come in trays, and then so they're not like stacked on top of each other like this usually. Like, well, even when I saw them, like they were still in the trays with these around them, and it's like, and I mean, I get it to the fact of like people are really picky about produce, like they won't buy bruised or, you know what I mean, like they won't. So I understand in terms of like trying to, keep as much much product as possible going out, but like I would just think that like making these things and actually getting them like having them put on there, like are you really saving that much? I mean, I guess they would have to save some money because why else would they do it? But I don't know, it just blows my mind. And then add on top of that the environmental impact of like individually wrapping things that come in their own wrapper. It's called the fruit skin. Like, oh, here's another favorite one. Um, and somebody uh I think actually my fiance was trying to kind of defend this one. I'm like, no, 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 no. So they have potatoes that are individually wrapped in plastic. Yes. So the concept is, and this is my fiance is like, well, yeah, but you can bake them right in the plastic. I'm like, well, yeah, no, you can bake them right in the plastic, but I'm like, you can bake a potato without the plastic too. Like, it's really not that much difference. Like, you can bake a potato without the plastic around it and nothing else special. You don't have to do something special to it. Like, you can just make a baked potato. Like, I like so wasteful and like unnecessarily adding. It's it's supposed to be environmentally sound. Um, yeah. See, exactly. This is what she was trying to like. They're specifically meant for microwaving when you don't have one use to use an oven for baked potato. They're not just individually wrapped. And so he's like, but just microwave potato without plastic wrap, we'll still cook it. Yeah, exactly. Like,
Is that on Reddit? Yeah.
yeah.
You can try to put some tinfoil around it.
I think I'm assuming the environmentally sound is sarcasm, because it's not. But yeah. So yeah, Gary.
Another bad one for doing this is like candy when it comes in like a big package and then you bust it open and there's like little packages.
Yeah.
It's like wow.
Yeah.
Like,
oh man, what
Jelly Ranch.
Starburst.
there was something.
Old people.
Oh well, okay, yeah. I mean, think of Starburst, like, and I get the idea, that like some of it's like for Halloween and stuff like that or whatever.
Yeah.
But like, you've got the Starburst that come in the big packs,
Yeah, I don't.
and they're like the pack, and then they have like the smaller end, like the pack of two Starburst in another package, and then the individual Starbursts are wrapped inside the little, so it's like a triple pack. Like, I don't want my Starburst going bad.
The only problem with Starburst, I can see if they don't because they might melt together really bad.
It could potentially, but like, But honestly, if it was hot enough for them to melt, they're probably like getting altered even within the plastic anyway. But yeah, no, that's a good point. Like stuff like that. Um, it just yeah, I don't know. That stuff like this just kills me. And so um when we're talking about source reduction, we're talking about trying to produce less trash. So ways this happens. So that's actually number 6 on this. Reduce the weight of products and or their packaging. I think did we talk about this already? The water bottles that are we talked about that or no? The it was I think it was Aquafina or something. Some company started they had like a little symbol on it that said like eco-friendly water bottles. And I'm like, how is that eco-friendly? Well, when you like read into it, like what they mean by that is, and I guess I shouldn't be so judgmental about it because it does help. Okay, what they did was they reduced essentially they reduced the amount of plastic that was in the water. Like they used less plastic to make the water bottle. So it's like thinner or something or like whatever. Like they're using less plastic in it. So less plastic per water bottle means less plastic in the being thrown away, whatever. Like so, there is something to it. I just have I kind of like okay, you're claiming eco-friendly, like you're making it sound like it's like a decomposable water bottle or something. It's not. It's still plastic. It's still not good for the environment. But if you're using less of it, in a way that is. Um, so that would be like reducing, some of the packaging, stuff like that.
Have you ever heard of Green Planet water bottles?
Mm-mm.
I just found them.
What are they?
It says one new water brand and a 100% plant-based bottle that is toxin-free and carbon neutral compared to plastic water bottles. Contains petroleum and BPA according to the press release. They are also reusable, recyclable, and
Compostable.
composable in ages.
What's the what is it called?
Green Planet.
Green.
It also proves cancer anxiety.
Well, yeah, you
Does
have
it
the
say
water
it has
bottle.
BPA in it?
No, it's saying they were saying that plastic water bottles can have BPA in them. When it's,
What is BPA?
Yeah, it's something that kills you, right?
no, it doesn't. It doesn't really kill you, but it does have they've linked BPA to like having negative side effects in like um if large amounts, like something that your body doesn't like process or get rid of or something like that like very easily, and if it builds up, like they've linked it to potential like as like potential if you have enough like cancer causing or something like that, or having like side effects for uh younger like babies if like baby bottles with BPA in them, stuff like that, of absorbing it, like stuff like that. So um wait, this can't be it.
Just
That's the logo that was there. I'm telling you. Wait,
This has BG.
what's going on? If you want to see the thing that
Oh, okay. So wait, but this isn't the one that this has to be something different than when you were reading, because this is a recycled plastic bottle. So this is like no, but I mean I'm not saying that the one you
Give him the light.
here, do you have it?
Artisan spring.
Let me-
Yeah, it's
let me see
artisan
it.
just looked up plastic water bottles that are eco-friendly.
This was scary.
I wonder if it's weird because this one that they have here, this 100%, this would not be compostable. It's made out of recycled plastic, which is, I mean, it's still way better for the environment because it's recycling stuff. But that one wouldn't be compostable. I wonder. I'll have to try to look that up.
Contact them.
Not right now.
False advertising.
We'll look it up later. Well, no, I mean, it might be on a different page or something. I'll have to try to find it, but, okay. So what are some other things we can do to reduce source reduction? Use multiple use items. Like you said, washable dishes and silverware versus disposable. Go electronic with communication, like billing and stuff, instead of getting like actual paper bills. Have them emailed or sent. Lengthen product life by creating more durable, longer lasting products. Anybody know why this one is important, and also why it's probably one of the ones that is like the most is gonna it would be the most hard to, not the most hard to do, but like the one of the ones that's the most would be the most difficult in our economy or society to do. Braden?
So like if you lengthen the product life, then you don't have to keep throwing away the old product if it decomposes, or throwing it away if it stops working. So
Bingo.
it's not gonna work because a lot of companies want things to be short stuff, you just keep buying it over and over.
Exactly. Yes. Have you guys ever heard of a term called planned obsolescence?
Yeah.
That basically means where something becomes obsolete or unusable, not because it doesn't work anymore, but because it's planned that way. So you're probably one of the examples, in a way, if you guys remember the whole Apple iPhone scandal where they were
Slowing down
slowing down the older phones so people would buy new ones to try to force people to upgrade and buy the new. That's sort of an example, because you're if they weren't doing that, then it would be actually like people would have been fine using the phones they had or whatever. I have an example of when this was probably about, gosh, I don't know, 5 or 6 years ago now, but I had a the Swiffer, like floor cleaner dealies. They got the ones like what they call the wet jet, where you've got a like the fluid and you like lock it in and then it sprays and you mop whatever you. Okay, so I had an old one. I had a Swiffer wet jet or whatever, and I hadn't used it in a while. When I was living in my apartment, and then I because I didn't really have any floors to use it on, and then when I moved, I went to go use it, and I went and bought like the refill cartridge of the cleaning solution, right, to put in. I get it back and I go to put it in. Yep, didn't fit.
No,
It didn't fit.
The connection didn't.
They changed, yeah. Talk about something that makes you want to throat punch somebody. They changed the connection between the cleaning supply refill thing and the Swiffer tool. So the new bottles would no longer connect into the Swiffer tool. So, and there's nothing wrong. But see, even that wouldn't work because
you got to snap it down.
because it's got to be able to like actually go, like it's got to connect in so it'll take the fluid through it. Otherwise it would just like build up in the little area and like, yeah. I was really irritated at that because I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like the Swiffer thing that I had was perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with it. Now I have to throw this away, and if I want to still do it, I have to buy a new one for no reason other than the fact that they changed something that there was no reason for them to change unless they wanted to force people to buy new ones when they didn't need to. And that's why this lengthen the product life. We've gone to this, companies and stuff have gone to this idea of producing products that actually don't last as long, specifically so people will buy them more often. And going to a more disposable products type thing because they can continually sell them to people. These printers, like the printers that we had in school or whatever, like they basically are almost impossible to get into and fix. Like you literally have to, like this one piece. It's like this little small. It's like a roller bar almost. and it's got like this thin cellophane layer around it. It's buried kind of in in the middle of the printer, and it like mine went bad on this thing. It was after a while. It wasn't like really quick, but it went bad, and it started kicking out and it wouldn't work. All of you had like literally, you can buy that little tube for like a replacement tube for like less than $10, I think, right? If you weren't as stubborn and uh, as I am, I literally had to take almost the entire printer out, including taking out and unplugging circuit boards to get to this piece, to replace it, and then put everything back together just so I could keep it and not throw it out. Like 90% of people would just throw the printer out. But I had to I literally was taking pictures with my phone of each step to try to remember how to put this thing back together because I'm literally taking circuit boards out and unplugging them and to try to get to the center of this thing to replace this part. With cars? Yep. Yeah. You have to you in order to what the heck did I have worked on my car and then I saw on there well, so an old Jetta that I had way back like 2000-ish. No, it wasn't a diesel. It was actually my ex's car, and then when we got a new car, she got the new one, and I got the old Jetta, which I hated with a passion. Oh God, because it constantly broke down. It was so expensive, and I just wish that thing started on fire. No. But anyway, it after literally probably 2 hours at a oil change place because they'll do like things like replace your headlights. I couldn't figure out how to replace the headlight on it. I had the headlight and I asked them to do it. After probably about an hour, they came back and they're like, we can't figure out how to do it. They're trying to look up stuff online. The guy's like, the only way I can figure out to get to it is if I take the battery out. I'm like, go ahead. Find out later. That's how it's designed. You have to take the battery out to replace the headlight. It's so ridiculous. You know what I mean? Like that's so. I think I had something worked on my car. I want to say it might have been like the tires or something where they had to like take out the battery in order to like change a tire or something like that. I'm like, that's so ridiculous. But yeah, you're totally right. I mean, that you're not necessarily throwing things away, but just making things super difficult to get to or work. You know what I mean? Things that don't even make sense. So, yep. Well, think about TVs. They used to back in the day they used to have like TV repairmen and stuff like that, right? They don't exist anymore.
There's no fixing a flat screen.
It's not even that there's no fixing it. It's that what it would cost to fix it is so much. It would cost so much that it's just more economically efficient to just throw it away and buy a new one. I used to have again, probably 15 years ago, we had bought one of the first generation of like flat screen high def that were like flat screen, but they still had like it had like a projector bulb in back still kind of and like built into the TV or whatever. But when that bulb went, to have somebody come out and fix it and replace the bulb or whatever was like $800 on a TV that cost like a couple of grand or something like that. Now, luckily, I found out about that before it went bad, and I just claimed it went bad, and then you could have somebody come out under the warranty and replace it for free. Woohoo! So I did that, and then from the time when I bought that to future, like TVs got cheaper. Like you could literally buy a TV for like it would cost about 80 per. You could buy a TV for $1,000 or something. That was a very good TV. That's probably even better. More technologically advanced than it would cost to fix your old one. So that's another kind of example with that. So all of that kind of relates back to this idea, though, of lengthening the product life and stuff like that. So other things for source reduction: removing your name or address from junk mailing lists, composting yard waste. That stuff that is pretty obvious. We talked about the reducing the weight. Okay, so let's pause here for today. Maybe.